All right, Craig, we are live. So good afternoon to you and hi, everyone. My name is John Nerrill, and I want to welcome you to my weekly Facebook Live. This is our first one of 2020, and it is show 83. The title of it is The Power of How We Show Up, and I am so grateful and happy to welcome to the show Craig Schneider. Craig, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So Craig and I have known each other a while. We bowl out on the PBA regional tour together, and that's really kind of how we got to meet. But our professional lives have merged in that Craig has, benefited from some coaching from me, and have had a chance to work with him in that kind of relationship. And a lot of the things that we have talked about is specifically how we show up. And so that is why I've invited him on the show today to really share what is a powerful and transformative career story in terms of his own development. So I'm really thankful and excited to hear you tell your story today. So thanks again. All right, so as we welcome everybody into the room, and typically we take the first couple of moments just to say hi and welcome a few people, but I do want to point out, and nothing has changed. I still got a great free offer on my website that is called 3 Steps to Creating Your Next Advancement Opportunity Without Feeling Overwhelmed. You'll just simply go to my website. You'll find the word free up in the banner at the top of the page. You're going to click on that, fill out the form so you can get the download for the e-workbook. And it's also going to enter you into my email community, where I email everyone each week about various leadership and career topics, particularly about when I have great guests on my show like Craig, and they get to come on and tell their stories. So that being said, Craig, I'm going to let you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, who do you help, what do you help them do specifically, just to introduce yourself to everybody that's watching today.
Sure. So since I've been out of college, I've always been interested in being into in a managerial role. I know that was something that I've always looked forward to being a part of a team. Basically, from my background of being an athlete, from playing professional baseball for a little bit and backing up to, being a leader on a high school baseball team, a high school bowling team, all the way up to college. That's something that was really a passion of mine, and I really enjoyed leading other people, to be successful, and leading by example is something that I strive for. And my background over the last 7-8 years have been heavily in the health insurance industry, specifically those that have Medicare. I've had the luxury of working with those new beneficiaries that enter in at age 65, and then developed into more of the special needs types of plans, helping those that maybe do not have the income or the resources to pay for a plan, and then those that live in a nursing home that may need extra help as well. So I've had a pretty well versed background in the Medicare field over the last 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it certainly has taken you along this career journey that we're going to get into talking about. And one of the things that really, when I first met you, in a really rather large generality, let's just say, it really was about how you showed up. I mean, we saw each other at a tournament. We ended up connecting on Facebook. We got connected through a mutual friend. And we started a conversation, and that's really how, we started to connect. But as I gotten to know you a little bit and learn more about the work that you do, one of the things that I can look back on and say that really was a particular eye-opener for you was when you had an opportunity to take the Energy Leadership Index.
Right.
And so for those of you out there who are familiar with leadership and workplace assessments, the reason why I believe in the power of the Energy Leadership Index so much is that it is an attitudinal assessment, meaning it is going to give you information about the attitudes you possess when you are showing up at your best, as well as when you are under stress. And at the time, Craig, that we were doing some work together and you took the ELI, understandably, you had a lot of workplace challenges and workplace stress that was going on. And I said to you, I think this would be a really good opportunity for you just to take a look at where your attitudes are here in terms of your leadership dynamic. And so at a really high level overview for everybody, the ELI is based off of an energetic self-perception chart that was founded by Bruce D. Schneider. There is no relation here. Other than the fact you both love to bowl, right? But with the energetic self-perception chart, there are 7 different levels of energy. Each level of energy is attached to a core thought, a core feeling or emotion, and a core result. And so in a very grounded type form, if we look at level 1, which is the lowest level of energy, if you will, we say that at that level of energy, you feel like you can never win, right? You feel defeated and deflated and put down. Level 2 is this fighter energy, which is I win and you lose. Level 3 is a rationalizer type energy, which is I win, but if you win, it's okay. Level 4 is the caregiver energy, which is you always win. We see that in a lot of helping and service-oriented professions. And for someone like you as well, you're a heart-centered leader, you care a lot about your team, so it's understandable you'd give off a lot of that energy. Level 5 is about the opportunist, right? So it's all win or we don't play. Level 6 is that we always win. We look at every situation as an opportunity for winning, regardless of the outcome. And at level 7, what we say is that winning and losing are just illusions. We get to make up the rules in terms of how we play. But at the end, it's really about the process and the journey, about being involved in all of that. So I share that as this high level overview, Craig, because I'd love for you to share with us a little bit about what did you learn specifically when you took the ELI, and how did that help you show up?
Well, I mean, as far as, coming from my most recent transition, where I was constantly feeling like I could never win. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I after completing this, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. After losing I guess really trying to understand where I was, my feelings, and really transitioning that to, how I can change myself or have show up with more energy. I think, that it was tough because I was in a position where I felt like I could never win. And I was leading a team, where, I had to change that energy, because if they felt my energy at low, that's not going to set them up for success as well. And I wanted to make sure, part of my goals as a leader, a director, manager, your job is to drive results. And I needed to make sure that I had to, transition that energy into something that's more positive, so I can get the results that I needed. Mm-hmm. So I think that was kind of a big thing. And, sometimes without taking that, I guess I just really didn't understand really where I was until I got that clear picture after doing that assessment with you.
Yeah. And so just staying with that for a moment. So, we talk about a lot of level 1 energy, right? It's where you feel like you're defeated and deflated. You can never win. What were some of the things that just made it feel like the challenge or obstacle in front of you was so high that it was just weighing you down, or frustrating? I think maybe the better word here is it was just frustrating you so much in terms of how you were best able to serve your team in that moment.
Yeah, I mean, the feeling, it was definitely stressful. It was depressing in a way, because I'm a very hungry and very motivated individual to where I want to show up and I want to perform at my best on a day-to-day basis and, lead my team to be successful as well. I think as far as my goals for being in a manager or a director type of role is I want my employees to, have goals and aspirations to better themselves and get to positions to where, maybe they want to get in my position and, what do they have to do in order to get there and the things that they need to improve on and show that level of energy and have that compassion and persistence to make sure that, you're following through on it.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we did a lot of work on was really, in some ways, is this: you show up with a very big heart, right? So you care a lot about the team, you care a lot about the organizations you've worked for, you care deeply about driving results and performance to best serve your customers and your clients. And when there are roadblocks or obstacles in front of you, it can be really difficult to navigate. And so that's where we saw a lot of the energy drain in terms of looking at situations that you had the ability to control or an impact over, and things that you just simply had to accept maybe as is, but could still choose to show up differently.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even though I felt like I was so far apart from what was required of me, I still had to show up and do my best work to get us as close as possible to hitting those budgeted numbers on, a monthly basis. I couldn't show that level of energy to my team because I think it would just defeat everybody.
Right. And I think it's also important, Craig, we acknowledge too, like not everybody's career path throughout their span is all happy and cheery and great and everything, right? I mean, we ride this wave of ups and downs, and that's part of what work is. But how we energetically and professionally show up in those moments can really help us move in a more meaningful and intentional way to best serve our customers, our clients, our teams, right?
Correct.
So, and this, and people who've been following know I talk about 6 specific strategies for how we show up energetically and professionally, and they are setting ground rules, having intentional conversations, owning where you are, welcoming new opportunities, using your genius, protecting and promoting your brand. And so when you look at all of those strategies combined in terms of how you show up, what specifically does it mean for you to show up as a leader at this point in time in your career?
As far as how I show up and where I am at this point in my career, I think it's, making sure that I show appreciation to my team and that I value them for the hard work that they put in on a day-to-day basis. I think that's very important. Having the energy, when you're in a sales environment, you're going to go on those roller coaster rides where you're going to have really good days, weeks, months, and then you're going to have some roadblocks that you have to overcome and develop new strategies. And I want to make sure how I show up is basically letting my team know that I'm there to support them. I want them to basically own their book of business and make smart, educated decisions, and I'm there to support them, and I want them to be creative. So this way they're not feeling like they're trapped, and that every day that they get to show up to work, they don't have to come to work. They want to be there, and I think that's important as a leader. Because I've been on the other side of it where I get up out of bed and I didn't want to go to work. It was very, very challenging, very difficult. And, making sure that your energy changes. So, you sleep at night, you get up and you're pumped and ready to go. It's exciting. It's fun. And then, that old saying where if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I try to, do that with my team to make sure that they like what they're doing and they're learning and growing. And, that's really, what I do. Also by leading by example, I think is also important to build, a team around you to know that, you have the experience and you're willing to, get your hands a little bit dirty compared to just constantly directing them and telling them what to do rather than, helping them and assisting them to be successful.
Absolutely. And you've, in our time of working together and everything, you've shown and demonstrated that by so many things that, we can't really get into in this interview with just the amount of time that we have, but I'm impressed and I'm proud, of you for the leader you are in the work that you do, which is great. And so it kind of leads me right into our next question, Craig, which was that, there was a time we started talking and really started exploring a little bit what coaching would look like for you. And so why did you know that coaching was right for you at this point in time in your own leadership development?
Well, when you think about it, being an athlete, mm-hmm. you have coaches, right? You have people that are there to guide you, direct you, coach you, train you, give you the ability to be better. Somebody that has had more life experience, work experience, whatever that may be. That's something that's I always found value in as, growing up and making sure that I had what I needed. And it just made sense to me to make sure that I have, a coach to lead me in a career. It just made more sense for me to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. And so throughout your career, you have successfully navigated advancements and different positions. Where are you?
Did I disappear?
Yeah, you froze on me a little bit. You still there?
I'm here. I don't know where my camera went, but
your
I'm
video
here.
Froze, but we've got audio.
I apologize. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. All right, this is really kind of weird. All right, so this is the joys of modern technology. We have a frozen video, but we have audio, so it's all good. You'll be happy to know it didn't freeze at an awkward spot. So
okay, well, that's good.
I love it. All right. So we're almost at time anyway. So I always end with this question, which is, what advice would you give someone to create their next advancement opportunity?
I to be honest with you, John, I think those people need to have a coach. Mm-hmm. It was something. I think those people that are looking for a next advancement is to invest in yourself. Right. So, we invest in our time and energy in other areas, but a lot of times I feel like a lot of people don't invest themselves. And I've really, over the last 7-8 years, after working with you, I really reaped the benefits, not only professionally, getting to promotions and having a title, that's something that I'm working towards constantly, but financially as well. I think since I've started working with you over the last several years, my salary has jumped about 175%, which is awesome.
Yep.
So that's very rewarding. Not only to invest in myself, see those types of results, and have fun doing it. You're a great coach, and you have ways of holding me accountable to the tasks that we talk about, and we have fun doing it. It's not stressful. It's truly enjoyable, and I'm glad. I'm very fortunate every day that we were able to connect on the PBA tour and become real close friends, and have you as a career coach as well. It's been a very good blessing to have.
Well, and same, and thank you for that. I mean, it's one thing when you get to meet somebody. It's another one where you get to become really good friends, and you get to help each other out a little bit, which has been really, really nice. And just to see your progress and everything, it's very not only gratifying but very special, and I thank you for that. So,
thank you.
Your video is still frozen, so I'm sorry.
I don't know what I'm trying to figure it out here and see what happened.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. So, Craig, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, contact you, I know they can find you on LinkedIn, and certainly connect with you there. Obviously, if anybody wants to connect with me, you can message me here on the page. You can email me at john@johnnerrell.com. I am happy to talk with you about what it means for you to show up and how I can help you in a coaching relationship. So feel free to drop me a message. If you enjoyed today's episode, I hope you will give it a like and a thumbs up and share it with somebody who is really ready to start pushing the conversation about what it means for them to show up and the power behind how we get to show up energetically and professionally to make the impact we want. So, Craig, I thank you. Thanks so much for the time today. I look forward to seeing you really soon. And for everybody else out there, Happy New Year. Let's make 2020 the year that we show up more energetically and professionally than ever. Craig, thanks again. Everybody, I'll see you next week with another episode. Take care. Have a great rest of the day.